Call of Duty 2017 is taking the franchise, quote, back to its roots, and if we took that literally, it would mean a World War II shooter. Before Call of Duty 4 blew open the whole modern-day military FPS subgenre, 4 of the first 5 Call of Duty games were set in the Second World War, and we were stuck in an inundation of World War II shooters from franchises like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, and more. Much the same way the current climate is an oversaturation of postmodern and futuristic shooters like Halo, Destiny, Call of Duty, Titanfall, Crysis, and even Battlefield before Battlefield 1 came and blew away the marketplace. Now, there are some World War II and historical shooters that are current, like Heroes and Generals, Verdun, and the soon-to-be-released Battalion 1944, but prior to Battlefield 1, this subgenre was sorely lacking in current titles. There has been a new leak of concept art pointing to a return to World War II for the franchise, which seems to have some steam behind it. Given how outlets are already using Call of Duty World War II as the title for the upcoming Call of Duty 2017, even though that name is probably just a placeholder itself, there's already a subreddit dedicated to the yet-to-be-announced title, and fans are even making loading screens based on the leaks. Assuming that these leaks are real, which most people are given the lack of evidence to debunk the art is coming from a different source, Thunder seeming to confirm it during a Twitter conversation about someone alpha testing the game, and the fact that the origin of the leaks also brought us the cover art for the Infinite Warfare Legacy Edition that got everyone hyped about Modern Warfare Remastered before it became Modern Warfare Reimagined. Call of Duty seems to be taking some pointers from the success of Battlefield 1 in bringing a historical FPS game back into the fold. The last World War II Call of Duty game was World at War, what you're watching in the background, which came out 8 years ago, ironically, as a backup plan in case Call of Duty 4 didn't resonate with fans. Shows you how on top of things Activision's greenlight department is. And there hasn't been a non-futuristic Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare 3, a whole 6 releases ago. 7 if you go back to the original Black Ops is the last non-modern historical game. Could this be the thing that saves Call of Duty? Yes and no. I think that people are going to be hyped as fuck about the game since it's not the same old situation, to borrow a Motley Crue song. When you force yourself out of a rut, it's fresh and new and exciting. Given that a ton of people were more excited about Modern Warfare Remastered before it became Modern Warfare Reimagined than Infinite Warfare this year, points to the fact that there's an audience out there that does not want a Call of Duty with advanced movement and would rather go back to the style of play that people got bored of around the time frame Call of Duty Ghosts. We don't know the player counts, but there are far less people playing Modern Warfare Remastered than Infinite Warfare, at least on PC, but that could be due to the fact that Call of Duty 4 still has a massive player base on PC because it's got more features. Anyways, even though there's been a more positive response about boots on the ground, does this translate into actual numbers? Battlefield 1 outsold, or at least is on par with sales for Infinite Warfare, even with the Modern Warfare Remastered throw-in. So, do we base the sales figures on the historical setting of the game, or do we attribute it to players getting burnt out or frustrated with Call of Duty and moving on to Battlefield instead? I say it's a little bit of both, but we do know that the burnout won't be going away with the next Call of Duty game, so that means that Activision has to be all in on the setting aspect. The problem with this is that we know that RNG supply drops, microtransaction season passes, lack of dedicated servers, and all the other bullshit that always comes from Activision, spelled with a $, will still be present in Call of Duty World War II. These are the things that drive people away from playing the game, no matter what the setting of the game will be, and this isn't going to go away because it makes them too much fucking money. As we've seen with Battlefield 1, though, when you make your bed rooted in historical accuracy, you're going to have to sleep in it. The population of Battlefield 1 has gone down after the Christmas sales until the first DLC came out recently due to the lack of content in the game. Remember, this is World War II we're talking about for the game setting, and this means that Sledgehammer Games is limited to what weapons and other beepity-bops can be used. Check out how little is in World at War without red dot sights or gun grips or even assault rifles outside of the STG-44, which is the very, very first assault rifle ever made. This also goes for things like kill streaks, as they're going to have to come up with some creative shit in order to fill out a score streak selection with things other than spy planes, artillery strikes, and K9 units. Maybe a plane gunner or a tank that you control that roams around the outside of the map that shoots in, not tanks on the map. That's a stupid fucking idea. Or an atomic bomb strike that not only ends the game, but offends Japanese people everywhere. This also means that there's less shit to go around in those supply drops that you know will be rampant in the game. I can't wait to get a Nazi salute for the winner's circle in my crate. Developers have much more creative freedom with a modern or even futuristic setting, so they're going to have to get a little creative in order to round out the content for this game that we're all accustomed to as a Call of Duty title. I'm slightly optimistic on this front though, because Modern Warfare Reimagined has introduced tons of cosmetic things that are at least grounded in reality and not neon camos for my Tommy gun. Even though Modern Warfare Remastered has more guns in it than World at War, it doesn't have the attachment variety of the recent installments, so players can be used to that already. But I just foresee the same issues that people currently have with Battlefield 1, in that the lack of content keeps the game stale. Not to mention the burnout issue that I spoke of with the last Call of Duty 2017 video, link in the description in case you missed it. People are just tired of yearly installments of Call of Duty, but will this drastic change in both setting and gameplay mechanics be the jolt that Call of Duty needs in order to get back to the place it used to be? Personally, I don't like the fact that it's going to be a World War II game in the same way that I hated the setting for Battlefield 1. I like playing Battlefield 1, but I feel like the game setting holds it back more than helps it. I'd rather have a modern military or even a Cold War era game, as there's more variety to choose from, especially with like a Korean War game. Most of the weapons are exactly the same as a World War II shooter, but you have additional items like helicopters and various other new technology. I'm on a wait and play approach, just like Battlefield 1. I'm assuming that there's going to be a demo of the game before launch, and will base my purchase on the playtime of that demo then. It's tough to tell whether this will be the phoenix that rises from the ashes of the recent Call of Duty failures, or will the greed of Activision ultimately cause the game to bury itself in its own demise. What do you guys think? I've been The Schwantz27, out like your Final Four bracket. Until next time.